Okay, here we are. Technique part 2. Let me say something up front before I go over the outside moves, which is going to be the top row, a posting top row, and a low hand top row. I'm going to tell you right now, if you're new to arm wrestling, and especially if you're new to this technique, if you think you can learn this overnight and become successful at it, you're in for a rude awakening. The top row is something you have to practice. You have to practice it a lot, and then you have to get strong at it. So don't go by what don't take what I'm going to show you and expect to go to a tournament and just blast everybody with it, because you're going to be sadly disappointed. This is something you got to really practice. It's not a normal movement. It'll be awkward at first, but that's why you got to do it over and over and over to get it in your muscle memory, to where it's just where you're strong at it and it feels right. It's not going to feel right at first, so keep that in mind. You got to work this. You got to practice it. So there's 3 elements to successful top row: grip, wrist, and back pressure. And I'm going to try to do them all in this one clip instead of doing a separate section on back pressure. First thing I'm going to do is grip. Let me show you the grip. Come right here, Cody. Remember in the introduction I was telling you about leverage? Okay, if your grip, if you're down like this, you have more leverage if you're up like this. So what you'll do, the grip, you should reach for your opponent's knuckle. This knuckle right here. That's what you want to reach for. So when you grab his hand, cap your thumb, and reach, go way around and reach for that knuckle. So now you're capped and you're like this, because they're going to make you show knuckles. If he caps, long as the referees can see a knuckle, both of your knuckles, that's good. So here's the grip. It's like this. Don't put your fingers pointing down like this. See how my fingers are down? That's no good. You want them up, and you want to reach for your opponent's top knuckle. Okay? And cap your thumb. Look at the difference. Here, here. That's an inch of leverage. Okay? So the grip's important. Next thing is your wrist. When you do this, I see a lot of people, when they set up at the table, their wrist is like this. Look, I've already given him my hand. Now watch the leverage advantage when you do this. You want your wrist to be like this, not like this. So even if you cap, your grip's good, and you're like this, look, he still has the leverage over my hand. But when I, look how it switches. I have the leverage, he has the leverage, even though I got a pretty decent grip. This is crucial. You want your wrist posted. Some people call it posted. I call it cocked back. You want it cocked back. Very, very important. Next thing is back pressure. Let me show you what back pressure is not. A lot of people think this right here, I'm not going to hold on to the peg so you can see. A lot of people think this is back pressure. That's not back pressure. Back pressure is just what it says. It's pressure back. Straight back, your knuckles, you should be looking right down your knuckles, right down the center of your nose. And when you apply back pressure, or you load, some people call it loading, your back like this. This is back pressure. Think back and think up. Because when you apply back pressure, you're doing this. And a way to know that you're doing back pressure right is ask your opponent when you're practicing this if he feels like his fingers are being forced open. If I'm applying back pressure correctly, he should feel his fingers being he should feel it on his fingers, like his hand's trying to open. So it's, you get the right grip, you're like this, your wrist is cocked back, and you load like that. Back and up. Back and up. You can slightly shove up like this. See my elbow? So I'm loading back and I'm doing this. Backing up. It's not down in this. That's not back pressure. Back pressure is up and back. just like this. Just remember, back. That's what it's called, back pressure. Now we're going to switch sides and I'll show you the basic top row. With them three elements in mind, a top row is an outside move. Let me show you something. Picture an imaginary line right down the center of this table. Okay? An inside move is anything going into that line, this way. An outside move is anything going away from that line, outside. Inside, outside. Okay. So, a top row, the basic top row, remember the three things: the grip, the wrist, see how my wrist is back, it's not like this, and back pressure. A top row is an outside move. I'm going outside of his power, not inside his power as in a hook. So, the grip, the wrist, the back pressure, and you're hitting his fingers. This is the top row. One more time. You got your grip, you got your wrist, and the back pressure. Ready? That's when you load. Go. Look, I'm hitting his fingers. I'm going outside of his power, not inside. Outside. Look at the leverage advantage. You're going outside. Look, I'm up high versus, watch this. Look at all the leverage I just lost. Now I'm down here instead of up here. Remember the fence post analogy? So it's just like this. You're hitting his fingers. You're beating his hand. Okay, a posting top row, the grip and the wrist the same. You apply the back pressure, but your elbow, you're going to put your elbow a little bit more back. And the reason why is because when they say ready, you load, but on go, you actually post your arm up. Dave Patton was famous for this. He's the master at it. And what it is, you actually shove up on go like this. Watch again. Boom. See? And it kind of forces their fingers open. If you really practice the posting top row, it's devastating to your opponent because it really hits their fingers. So it's ready, I'm loading, and then go. Look, already got his hand. Watch his hand. Ready, go. It forces her hand open, and then you just take them on over. A low hand top row. This is a good technique when someone like myself with a smaller hand is trying to beat an individual with a larger hand. And the attack is these two fingers. You're hitting these two, the ring pinky fingers. It's like this. The grip, the wrist, the back pressure, but instead of hitting way up top, you're hitting these two fingers here. You see it? Look. It's a low hand top row. You're hitting the lower part of their hand and then going on over. It worked. It's real good. It's just, you're hitting these two fingers instead of the way top of the hand, like this. That's a regular top row, posting top row, and then the low hand top row. See that? Let me move the table in a little bit closer. Low hand, look. See how I'm hitting them fingers, his bottom fingers, versus the regular one. It's just like hitting the whole hand. But the low hand, you're hitting the lower part of the... See, your wrist is doing this. Like that. So it's just like that. Okay? So if you're new to arm wrestling, if you're new to top rolling, you got to practice it. I can't emphasize that enough. Practice it over and over and over and over. And then in future clips, I'm going to show you how to get stronger at the top row and exercises that'll help you strengthen your finger pressure and your back pressure and just your whole setup. Your wrist, exercises for your wrist, exercises for finger pressure, and then just the most important thing is practice it by arm wrestling. So that covers the outside moves. That's going to be all of the technique part. From this point on, it'll be all about arm wrestling training. But I will hit, in sessions, I'll still go over fine details in these techniques, because I'll be trying to demonstrate an exercise to get you strong at that certain technique. So stay tuned, stay strong, and I hope you've enjoyed it as much as I've enjoyed making these. Thank you.